So what I'd like to discuss today is the most criminally underrated fragrance from the Private Blend line, in my honest opinion. It is sadly discontinued, so it's going to be very difficult to sample or try it out. I don't believe that it's going to be at a boutique. You could ask, maybe they'll have like a little leftover, something like that, that one of the sales associates can let you try at the counters, but I'm not sure if they would have it or not. Definitely ask, don't be shy, ask for it, but if they don't have it, then I don't know what you're going to do other than buy a sample off of eBay. This is none other than Tom Ford's Bois Marocain, so Moroccan wood. As with all Tom Ford private blend fragrances, this is the presentation, all the gold, and you're just going to go ahead and pull this off. There you go. Bois Marocain. I absolutely love Tom Ford's presentations. They're awesome. This is what the sprayer is going to look like for you. Now, if you didn't already know, what's interesting is the private blend fragrances were originally created, A, for the connoisseur, such as us, but B, to blend, obviously, private blend. They were meant to blend. You're supposed to mix and match and see which ones you like on your skin together. Obviously, they're all fantastic on their own, but I have found a couple different mixtures that I really do enjoy with the Bois Marocain. If I put Tuscan leather on first and put Bois Marocain on top, it actually turns out awesome, amazing. I just wanted to throw that out there, that it's a little known fact that the private blend fragrances were actually originally composed to blend. For me, Bois Marocain stands against Amouage Jubilation 25, Comme des Garçons Incense series, any of those fragrances that have the incense type feel. I'll tell you this. This is coming in at number 2 for my incense fragrances, okay? Number 1 is Silver Factory by Bond Number 9. That fragrance is freaking bonkers. I absolutely adore. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Bois Marocain is a very close number 2. Getting right into it, I'm going to tell you guys a story. If you haven't seen my Tom Ford overview video, go check that out. I was checking out the private blend fragrances about 2 years ago now, almost 3 years ago, whatever it was, 2.5, 3 years ago. And, of course, we had Tobacco Vanille. Everyone was splitting Tobacco Vanille. Everyone talked about Tobacco Vanille. None of the other fragrances were even talked about. None. Zero. Zilch. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call up the Tom Ford Boutique and see if they can send me some stuff, because my buddy sent me Amber Absolute and Tobacco Vanille. Sadly, I liked neither one. I own both now. Tobacco Vanille, just so we all can clarify this right now, is my favorite fragrance of all time. At the time, I didn't appreciate it. I was new to the game, blah, blah, like nothing I had ever smelled. So I tested the private blend fragrances because he was very generous and sent me the little samples, the like screw-off little samples that they send. And I absolutely fell head over heels in love with Bois Marocain. I thought it was absolutely stunning, and I had to have a bottle. That was the first bottle that I bought from the private blend line. Just so you all know, I wanted to kind of give a story about this too. I love woody fragrances, so the other fragrance that was up against was between these two, actually. So Bois Marocain and Oud Wood were the two that I absolutely loved, and Tuscan Leather was the third one. But so these were the first two that I purchased. And, oh no, sorry, actually Tuscan Leather was the second one I purchased. Either way, though, these were the two that I was like, I don't know which one I want. They were the two that I was blown away by at the time, and Tuscan Leather as well. But it was between the two that I knew that I wanted to purchase one of them. Ended up being Bois Marocain. I still, to this day, like it better. I simply love the fresh incense in this fragrance. This fragrance consists of incense, bergamot, cypress, and cedarwood. It's just a really cathartic, uplifting, spiritual incense. It just makes me feel great about life. I'm not even kidding you. Incense generally does that for me, anyways. It makes me feel like $1,000,000. Like I feel really spiritual, very kind of like one with everybody. I don't know what it is about it. It just makes me feel, it puts me in a good mood. But this one's especially, this one especially does that because there's like this freshness to it. It's a spicy incense, but the bergamot and the sweetness of the cypress give it this real nice sort of transparency almost. Like you can wear this in the summertime, no problem. It is a deep, exotic incense, but it's not so deep that you can't wear this for any occasion, literally. So for me, it's simply amazing, and I'm so disappointed that it's discontinued because I'm gonna have to stock up on this bad boy before there's none left. So this fragrance is definitely classy enough to be worn with a suit and tie, but it's also casual enough because it's very masculine, sort of woody incense fragrance that you could pull it off for everyday use. I think it, like I said, it is definitely signature scent worthy. It's not a one-trick pony by any means. I think you can use this for anything all year long. Amazing fragrance. Let's talk about the feedback that I've gotten with this fragrance. For me in particular, I've noticed that because of the way I dress, I think, people kind of take that as being metrosexual or whatever. And I personally try to, if I, like, say I wear a pink shirt, I try to match my image and do something that's completely a contradictory sort of fragrance. So say I'm wearing a pink shirt, salmon, whatever you want to call it, I will then wear something like Amber Absolute or Bois Marocain, and then my presence is really known then. Dude with a pink shirt smells like Superman over there, and it works really well. So I think with my image, the way that this works for me, Bois Marocain specifically, or specifically any kind of darker wood kind of fragrance, it gets me attention and it gets me compliments because a lot of the time I get this reoccurring statement, "You smell so good, you smell like man." Reoccurring thing going on. Obviously the woods being man, but it's just funny to me because I think that if you were to give this fragrance to somebody that's not confident in themselves, that it may not get as much feedback. So I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there that for me it simply does get me attention, it does work for me. And I'm actually surprised. It's one of the most complimented Tom Ford private blends I've got. Maybe like 3 or 4. But I've noticed that cedar wood specifically and incense specifically get me a lot of compliments. For some reason, like I say, it probably is because I project this confidence and this, it makes me feel good. So I'm in a better mood, therefore I'm being more outgoing and being more confident in myself, therefore getting better feedback. But nevertheless, this fragrance does get me compliments and it does get me attention, positive attention. So there is that. So overall, it really is a shame that this fragrance has been discontinued. Bois Marocain will go down in nostalgia history for me and my fragrance journey. I absolutely love this juice. Like I said, it is my first private blend purchase. It's not my first Tom Ford purchase. I had Grave Editor before this, but my second one anyways. And it really helped introduce me to not only the Tom Ford house, which is my favorite house at this point, but niche fragrances, luxury fragrances as a whole. So I really have to, sort of thank this fragrance for being the gateway to finding out about better, more rich, more luxurious, more complex fragrances in the industry. So Tom Ford, thank you very much. You are awesome. Obviously he's never going to see this video, but Tom Ford is the man. I absolutely love this house. I can't say enough about Bois Marocain. If you have the funds available, I would say just go ahead and blind buy it. It's discontinued anyway, so it can make you money further down the road, obviously. But the stuff, if you are a fan of incense, if you are a fan of cedar wood, just blind buy it. I'm telling you right now, just blind buy it. Just get it. Now overall, because I do feel like this fragrance is like it does everything, and it smells great to me, and there's not one complaint that I have about it. Even though the price point is kind of, with niche fragrances though, it's really not on the higher end at this point. You look at like Roja Dove or whatever, it's in the middle of the road really. For what it is, the natural quality, the the luxurious sort of feel that you get from the fragrance, I gotta say that there's nothing I can complain about with the fragrance. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful scent. It is going down in my history personally as one of the best incense fragrances ever made, one of the best, most natural compositions I've ever had my nose on, and I simply love this stuff. 10 out of 10 juice right here. I hope you all have the opportunity to check it out before it's too late, and I hope you all have a good one. Check out Tom Ford Bois Marocain. I'm telling you, do yourself a favor before it's gone.